everybody. I am in a little bit of a different position today, and it's not because I want to be. It's because when I filmed my last video, I raised up the stand that my phone usually sits on when I'm filming, because I was filming downstairs in the homeschool room, and it needed to be a little bit higher than it usually does when I'm filming up here. Well, I can't get it back down, and I have blistered my hands trying to get it back down. And I probably should wait to film another day, except for there are no other days. This Tuesday is literally the only time I have this week to film. So gosh darn it, we're gonna film, even though now I'm extremely grouchy, which is actually okay because the topic I'm filming about is the books I'm gonna be reading in May. And one of the read-a-thons I'm participating in is Misery May. So it's okay that I feel a little bit miserable and grouchy right now. And I've been like huffing and puffing and trying to wrestle my camera stand. And yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fun. So let's talk about some books. Ow, that hurt. So hi. My name's Talia. I love books, I love bandanas. I'm kind of a hot mess today, but we're gonna film anyways because hot mess films are better than no films when you have a booktube channel, right? Thumbs up below if hot mess films are better than no films at all, okay? Help me out today, people. Okay, so I'm talking about what I'm going to be reading in May today. It's a TBR, but it's not set in stone. I failed pretty miserably at my April TBR, so I have quite a few books left over from that. And I'm kind of feeling like by the end of the month, I'll probably be mood reading based on how my readathon goes. So let's talk about the readathon first. Gemma with Gemma Books and Scott over at Gunpowder Fictions and Plot are having a readathon. And this readathon is a little bit different than your typical readathon. It is a readathon designed to explore books that are a little less than happy. In their videos, they were talking about how it kind of spun off of Jane Austen July and how this is such like a wonderful, happy time where people read Jane Austen books. And some people, Gemma and Scott, like to read books that are a little less happy. So Misery May is centered around Thomas Hardy, which I have not read any yet, but it sounds like he writes some pretty miserable books and some pretty controversial books. So the group read that I'm going to be reading is, hey, what's up?
There's an ant in the bathroom.
There's an ant in the bathroom? Okay. There's an ant in the bathroom. I'll be right back. Okay, there's no longer an ant in the bathroom. Everything's good. Disaster averted. So anyways, Thomas Hardy. So I'm not following really a lot of the prompts for Misery May in general. I'm just going to be trying to read some books that are miserable or I think will make me feel miserable because why not? It seems like that's a good idea, right? I read a lot of happy, positive books, so let's branch out of our comfort zone a little bit. Okay, so the group read I am participating in, and the group read is Jude the Obscure by Thomas Hardy. And Scott says that this book is the most miserable book basically ever. And yeah, it sounds really terrible and horrible. So I've actually started it. I'm a couple chapters in. It's not too terrible yet. But I did read, I started reading the intro, and in the first part of the intro, it talks about how after Hardy wrote this book, people were like burning it. They were so upset about it. And after he wrote this novel, he decided not to write any more novels because he was so like, I don't know if he was distraught or just annoyed, or basically he was like, peace out, I'm not doing this anymore. And he turned to poetry writing instead. Yeah, this is the group read. Excited for it. Excited to see. I think a book like this will be fun to read in a group setting. So there's a Voxer on it, and you can find information on Scott and Gemma's page. I'll link their videos below if you want to read with us, because it's going to be miserable-tastic. Okay, The next book I'm reading, this is for my in-life book club, but also ties in really wonderfully with the theme of Misery May, as Radium Girls. This is nonfiction. This is takes place in the early 1900s, like right around World War I. And it's this group of girls that it's following. And they work in this factory making watches, and they're basically painting with this paint that has radium in it. Radium, we know now, is super toxic and can cause a lot of harm and death, but at that time they didn't know that. And I actually started this today, and the girls are literally like painting, and then to clean off their paintbrush and like make a nice point to continue, they're like putting it in their mouth and going to make a nice point on their paintbrush. Like, it's terrifying and horrible, and like they are like, a couple of them are starting to have like these weird sores in their mouth and like weird symptoms, and just like, this is gonna be miserable. I can tell. This is gonna be a horrible book. So yeah, that should be fun. Okay, so here's where we kind of diverge a little bit. So this one is not a miserable book. This one is another group read. This is with Nicole from Dusty Book Sniffers. Discord group read for the month of May is Night Circus. I'm excited for this. I've had it on my shelf for quite a while. I've heard it's like very atmospherical, so should be very different from the other two books I'm reading. So it's about a night circus and two, I think, magicians that are falling in love behind the scenes at the night circus. So I've just heard really good things about it. So we'll see how it goes. It should be very different. Probably won't be miserable. So that's where we're gonna kind of stick. Like, those three books will definitely be read this month because they're all group reads. But after that, I am not sure how it will go. If I'm loving the misery and feeling like reading some more books that are miserable, I'll continue on. This, My Sister's Keeper, has been on my list for quite a while. I know it's very sad. It's about a daughter who is basically born to help the older sister who has cancer. So she's basically, her parents have her and then immediately start doing tests on her and use her to help treat her sister. And it's interesting, when I was in the hospital, I was in the hospital for quite a while when I was pregnant with my twins. It was a super complex pregnancy, so I was living in the hospital for a while, and this is one of the books I brought and I had like sitting on the shelf next to my bed, and the nurse would come and the doctors would like, we'd chat about what books I had there, stuff like that. And one of the nurses was like, have you read My Sister's Keeper? And I was like, no. And she's like, you cannot read that when you were in the hospital. Like, you need to be in a good mental state. Like, you cannot read that book when you're here. And I was just like, okay. So I didn't read it. So I don't know. Apparently it's miserable and gonna make me feel really terrible and sad. So we'll read this one if I'm feeling like more misery. And then if I'm feeling like even more misery, I think this was Alice and the Giant Bookshelf. She was talking about this. I'm pretty sure it was in her recommendation of books to read for Misery May. If not, she was just talking about it on some other video. But I've had this on my shelf for a while, and when I heard her talk about it and how sad it was, I was like, well, that would be good for Misery May too. So that's another option. So these, not for sure, but definitely are in the running to be read this month. So I mentioned before I didn't do very well in my April TBR. So if I'm not feeling like more Misery May, then I will go and read my books that I didn't finish reading for the month of April. Oh, whoa. So, yes, my love.
I want to look at one of Woody's bed under, all ripped.
He's all ripped? Well, yeah, he's really old.
But the other one's not ripped, see?
Oh, well, it looks like this one's just wearing out faster. This is oldie. He's very special in our house. Okay, go play a little bit more, okay? And I will look at him some more after I'm done, okay?
Okay.
But I think he's gonna be okay. That's his favorite penguin, and he's getting very worn. He's had to go through the washing machine several times, and it's just not holding up as well as we would like. But okay, so let's finish talking about the books for April. So Tiki, I actually started. I'm about, apparently my bookmark fell out. I don't know how far I am. I'm gonna have to do some research there. This is good, just wasn't loving it, wasn't feeling it. So still need to finish this one. And I did not even start Weyward or The Man Who Died Twice. So I have these on the list to read as well still. So, yeah, we'll kind of see how the month of May goes. I know it's going to start with some miserable reading, and then we'll see how it continues if I want to keep going down that path or try to catch up with April. I don't know. Spring is just so chaotic around here. We just have all the kids in sports, like we're running here, there, everywhere. It's just been super busy. Sports are outside, things are muddy, there's lots of laundry. It's just a little bit chaotic. And honestly, can I just confess something? The reason I didn't finish these books is because I was playing Zelda on my kids' Nintendo Switch. That we got them for Christmas, and somehow I play more than anybody else, even though I am 38 and have absolutely no time to be playing Zelda in the late night hours. But I don't know, sometimes your brain just needs a break. Sometimes you just need a break to just completely zone out, and I've been really tired and like, I don't know, Zelda's been where it's at. But I'm gonna do better in May. I'm gonna do better with my reading. I am going to tackle these books head on and get some reading done. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope none of you have had to wrestle with your camera stands today. I hope you take some time today to read a good book or two. And if you're having a bad hair day, just wear a bandana. Bye.